Hello!
Hello!
Hello, hello!
Hello! You weren't expecting to see me here.
Yeah, it's it was supposed to be a Derek and Tommy night, and we're talking about mediumship, but unfortunately, Tommy got called into another group tonight, so um, he'll be back on, no doubt. Tommy's a great medium, and he'll be back in touch and be back on. There must be something about it. Every time we try to organise something with Tommy, it seems to go wrong lately. So it'll be a better time. So we've asked John to come on tonight. So it's a repeat of last week's. Luckily, John's off tonight as well.
I know. I'm not. Well, it's lucky. It's lucky. I don't know who it's lucky for, Derek.
So just everybody out there, just give us a wee tick, let us know you're there. We're coming on, and start sharing, guys, to your friends and platform, and let people know we're on, because we're talking about tarot cards tonight. Seeing I've been doing a lot of videos and stuff about tarot cards, I thought we'd speak about tarot cards tonight.
Why not, indeed?
Is it fortune telling? The subject tonight. Some people say it is, some people say it's not. I keep saying, but look at options, John, for the future.
Yes, it's options. I don't like calling it fortune telling, to be honest with you. I don't even like calling it a psychic reading, but you already know I'm not particularly fond of that word. To me, it's about intuitive guidance and potential outcomes if the energies around a particular situation or person stay the same, and it's always changing. So you're not really predicting the future; you're only suggesting potential outcomes. So that the general idea is that you're enlightened and able to either move towards or away from those outcomes depending on the course of the reading and how you feel about it.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. Is I think it tells a story about life because he's got a lot of aspects of life within the cards, and the history of a tarot card varies. The art varies from pack to pack, and sometimes the meanings vary because one card I haven't used a lot, but I don't particularly like using now is the Throft pack, John.
The
Throft.
Throft.
Hi. You ever used that? It's
No, I haven't. No.
Alistair Cowley's deck.
You mean a Toth Tarot?
Throft Tarot, aye.
The Toth Tarot, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe it or not, I sell quite a lot of Toth Tarot. But guess what? Guess where most of the decks go that I buy for resale? They end up going to the United States. A lot of people in America seem to like them. But the Toth Tarot is quite a difficult deck. It's very it's full of symbology, which is quite complicated. It's not anything like the classic kind of Rider-Waite style designs. So it's not for everyone when it comes to doing tarot readings, but it's excellent for other uses of tarot, such as meditation, concentrating on them, and learning about symbology is a very good use for the Toth Tarot deck.
Yeah. I'm just turning down my phone here. Let's get it down so it's not double sounding here because it's a little bit behind. But there's a reason you don't like using the term fortune telling because of the negative connotations that are associated with it through the media in general society. I would say that's true.
Yes.
Very good point. Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that. Generally speaking, the negative associations with the world, that not within the community, but within the wider public, of words like fortune telling, and also the word psychic. It's there are connotations within a general population of that make that where they think it's just all a load of woo-woo, etc. And they do, and especially people who are particularly skeptical of it. So I just prefer to avoid using those terms for that. That's part of the reason. So it's quite right.
Yeah, I think when you look at the way that we're portrayed, um, by the media, and a lot of us are highly spiritual people, are opened up, and the cards are just one of many tools. It is all about the inside information, the awakening within yourself, and that story of life. And Angela's just gone out to get a wee massage here, and you just throw me a wee card for everybody, the Seven of Swords, and that's all about worry sometimes, and looking way back in the past as we are, and how we are often tagged negatively.
Well, that's certainly true, and it's a shame that, especially considering so many people who do tarot and do intuitive readings are spiritual people by nature and by nature helpers, and they're genuinely wanting. Having said that, there is a very small minority, we have to remember, of people who do psychic readings, intuitive readings, use tarot cards, etc., who are somewhat charlatans, and it's unfortunate that the small minority of those who do go out of their way to use that gift incorrectly, or to fake the gift when they don't have it, just in order to gain financially, give the rest a bad name. And it's a shame about that. But unfortunately, the way that we seem to be in society, where there's so much skepticism about spirituality in general among the general population, not among those within the community, but among the general population. Whereas it's interesting that the same population are quite happy often to believe very fervently in organized religions, and preach hellfire and damnation to anyone who uses tarot cards.
Yeah, we could speak all night about that. And I think hello Helen, and hello Georgina and June, and whoever else is out there. We're talking about, we were supposed to have Tommy, and we were going to talk about mediumship, but Tommy couldn't make it tonight, and we've now grabbed John. And as I've been doing a lot of TikTok videos and getting used to that, and doing Instagram videos on the tarot cards, because I'm actually writing a course and on tarot cards, and it's going to be part of my rebranding as well, John. And I've got some different images coming up as well. And is that a card that's went flying? Is it?
Well, the thing is, I brought out a couple of decks earlier, and I was shuffling them, putting them back, and I'm looking down just as you were talking, and this card was literally stuck under the chair I'm sitting on. So it randomly appeared out of nowhere. I had no idea it ended up there, so it must be a sign. Yeah. So what does it say? This is the 8 of Ariel, and it says, "Take great pride in your excellent work." Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
We're busy talking about those who disparage, tarot and and intuitive work as being mumbo jumbo. And we get "take great pride in your excellent work." So perhaps we should give ourselves a little slap in the back or a patty on the head, and say, we are doing our best to help people, and we are not, we're not charlatans, as some would describe it as.
You don't say that word, and it's there's Georgina saying again, it doesn't help when you have people who take advantage of others' vulnerability. And we get it on here. I mean, how many Thursday nights, or when we're on, John, that people jump on here and try and get free reading, or try and get people to pay for readings from our site and jump on our shows, and all these organised kind of scammers or whatnot.
Yeah, they go into the comments, don't they, and try to get people to give them money. Yes. Whereas we're literally come on here and you're just talking to you and having a chat with you, and this is this isn't behind a paywall. This is just us all having a community chat together, and we maybe offer a few free readings as demonstrations in between, but we're not charging for this, so there's nothing here except for welcome and thank you for coming.
And we're all about sharing as well. And there's somebody called Phone Daddy on Twitch and saying hello. You look like good blokes, thanks, guy.
Well, thank you.
And as we're saying, the subject tonight, as we're on Twitch, because we don't have many Twitch followers and stuff, is we're just normal guys who are gifted in lots of different areas of the spiritual kind of side of life. We've had to go through challenges, and what I love about when I can do a reading without cards, as you know, John, my mediumship and whatnot. But what I love about the cards is when we talk about a subject, or talking about an issue or a feeling or an emotion, that's the card always comes out after that discussion. And it's like a validation from the spirit world, your guides, because they can play with the cards or whatever. But it's learning about the spiritual symbolism as well, and how that applies to us. And it's ancient knowledge that's been put into art, because a lot of the pictures that were drawn, Leonardo da Vinci, all these big famous inventors and whatnot, they used art to express themselves with hidden knowledge as well. Because remember at that time, if they had different ideas, it was blasphemy. You know, and it's sad sometimes. If people got a different idea. Well, I've held a Bible and used it as a tool and flipped it and just went open up a page, like the book of answers I've got here, flipped it, and you go to that page and it means something for the person in front of you. A Bible, I've used phone books, I've used anything because you use that intent, to say I'm going to use this, you guys choose it, and it's never an accident.
No, it never is.
Yeah.
As you got another comment here saying, "You guys look like some good fellas I'd see at the pub." Well, there's certainly that possibility. I won't deny, especially since I work in one.
Right, and
Other than doing this, yes,
very often would be mates because John, I've known you for God knows how many years now.
Since we were teens, teenagers.
That's how we met. Was in the pub.
Yeah,
when we're young, well, older teens. Underage when I met you, I don't think I was.
Yeah, no.
I think we just turned 18.
Am I paying for the drinks? Definitely not. No. Nice try though.
But on the subject of tarot, there's so many different types of tarot cards nowadays, and a lot of people write down their feelings. And I was looking at psychic barber Gordon Smith, he's just created a new oracle pack, and there is a difference between oracle cards and tarot cards, but a lot of them are based on the same. Because numerology is in them, astrology is in the cards sometimes, and there's lots of different meanings symbolically, and colours and new things as well. So it's all the aspects of what we teach. Like I'm doing the workshop in August. See if we can get it up here to remind people. The workshop in August, and we're learning about reading auras and much more. And people can get in touch. They go into the events like I've got there on the page. And that's me and helpers that are helping people connect to colours and auras, and through that mediumship and also cards. And so in the cards, you've got these colours, you've got these aspects, and they all mean something. So it's a spiritual development tool, I see it. But the biggest knowledge we can get is in there. We're just using tools, and that's the secret, really. That's the big secret. It's being positive and trusting your own intuition. Not us. We can give advice. We can connect. We'll get some strange stuff, John, that comes into our minds and thoughts when we're doing the cards, and we give it to the client. Yes. And it always means something.
Well, yeah, I mean that's right. I was thinking about when I think about tarot, I think about symbology, because all of it is symbology, really. And whenever you are doing a reading, now it can be utilizing a lot of different kinds of tools. Your intuition can work in different ways, including the clairs, obviously. And if you see an image in your mind, for example, that's also some kind of symbology that you understand. And it might be an image that's unique to you, or it might represent some kind of archetype, and it sends a particular kind of message that then triggers a thought that comes to mind that says, oh, well, this means this, and for this question, this could mean this. And this has an effect on a reading. Now, it's the same with the tarot cards, actually. They're just, the symbolic triggers, if you like. And that's how they kind of work. And it doesn't really matter whether it's tarot cards or other types of oracle cards. They all kind of work the same way, as Derek says, with everything from colours and auras and chakra colours, but to numerology and other types of symbology as well, astrology and all the rest. And a lot of other hidden stuff, depending how well you know tarot and how well you study them.
And speaking about hidden stuff, there's also the emotions that are shown by the artist on the card. Now, in the kind of psychic world, we nickname this as the miser card, because I was in Aberdeen, I used to always get this card. But when you look at it, it's hanging on to their own money, not spending. It's hanging on to what's yours and maybe holding back. So there's different meanings depending on the question. And also it's a number 4, which is a very secure number. It's the 4 pillars, and you can see the houses in the background there. So it's like protecting, your house and protecting your money. So you can look at it in different ways depending on the question, and we'll demonstrate that when people ask us questions and whether we can use the cards or insights. And if you've got any questions on the tarot cards, or if you don't like them, if you own, and I see that, and I agree with this, Georgina, is also as the pictures in the cards, something's changed, and and they can change the meanings. The Rider Waite is one of the most common, and that's the ones we use to teach, because it's one of the most common, easiest to get cards on, as we know. There's many other types of cards that are really popular and I love as well. But people change them slightly, like the universal tarot cards, very much like Rider Waite, but there's different meanings with certain cards because the pictures are different. And it's the same with it when I've got fairy tarot cards here, and I'll just pull the card here and now, just the example. Hasn't even got a number on it, although it's a tarot card. And it's totally different feel to it when you look at a card. So you look at more at the art, the meanings, but it is a tarot card. It's based on tarot cards. Fairy tarot cards, it says no numbers. So everything's different. For me, water on the card symbolises emotion. That's true, and depending on how the water looks, depends on how strong the emotions are. Yes, and if you're drawn to the water, it certainly means something as well. And June's saying, would you recommend a particular kind of angel card to purchase and the best place to buy them? Well, John does have cards and he used to sell them, but there's Amazon, there's all other places. I say go what you're drawn to. I love going into the old shops. They're the old kind of crystally type shops, and just get drawn to something, and very often when people buy a gift, or they're drawn to giving you them. So I say, June, always twist your intuition a little bit, but there's loads of cards on Amazon. John sells cards, and there's lots of crystal shops that sell cards as well. But be careful, because I've often bought cards that are different, and I'm bought into like the outside of the pack, then I open them out and they're rubbish. It's like, so I like to see what's inside the pack, because you might have a good artist. So that's one of my advices. Make sure you can see some of the cards or examples of the cards are inside.
Yeah. I mean, not trying to just punt my own wares here, but obviously I will. If you do go to my website, you would find that all the decks I sell have images of some of the cards that I've taken myself, so you can actually see the cards that you would get. And it's a good idea, as Derek says, to trust your intuition. Have a think about what kind of angel cards would suit you. Is it angel cards that are like a deck of oracle cards that are just that angels, if you like Angels and Ancestors by Kyle Gray is a good deck? Or is it a set of angel tarot cards, like, for example, Radley Valentine's angel tarot card deck that you're looking for? And if you have an idea in your mind, then the universe will probably point you in the right direction and you'll find the thing you're looking for.
Yeah, I think that's the secret. And remember, cards is one tool. When we could talk about runestones one night, and I remember I was drawn to runestones because I was looking at stone circles, John, and I recognised some of the, and you're into that as well, some of the images on the stone circles look like runestones images. And I did a bit of research, and then I started using runestones. And then you find out that some of you could say the Norse and kind of the Vikings used to sail ships by using the runestones and stuff, and their belief. And Angela loves the runestones. She's getting very good at doing them, because she connects to the energy of them, the symbol of the runestones. And this is our culture, and the Picts used all these tools, and it's part of our history. So we should never be ashamed of talking about these things, because cards, reading bones, as our ancestor used to do, reading sand, reading the clouds, tea leaves, as we do, and we've got a tea leaf party coming up soon, so I need to advertise that later on. But you know what I mean, John? It's not just about, this is part of our culture, these things.
Yeah, I started with runestones before I did tarot. I did runes. You want to know the reason? You want to know the reason why I started with runestones? I was too lazy to learn 78 cards. I thought there's only 24 stones and 1 plus 1 blank one. I thought that's easier to start with. So I started learning rune stones just because there's less of them. And I thought I could learn that first. And if I got on well enough with that, then I'll move on to tarot when I feel like it. And that's basically what happened.
It's what Carol White's there. Is Carol White is saying, how do you know? You just can't know. It's like, I knew the cards before I actually knew them, if you know what I mean, because I think it's a past life thing or something. I just knew what they meant. And I was doing cards and a long time before John started doing them and whatnot. And John says, how do you know them? I just don't know. I just know them, John. I just read the art. And my favourite pack has always been the Rider Waite. But there's lots of cards you go through. And Heather Lane, she loves crystals. And there's crystals in cards as well, are shown. And crystals are amazing. I work in a crystal museum, Treasure of the Earth in Corpeth and Fort William. And I learned so much about crystals. But I already had a knowledge. I was always drawn to crystals when I was younger. And I think working with food and all that as well, kind of the art and stuff, and you see things and you visualize things. So Heather, or Carol, there's Georgina saying again, I bought myself some rune stones, still to learn to read them. I just kind of go with my first thoughts, and that's what really matters, is you hold them, feel them, and sense them. When I do my spiritual development, I get people to hold things, and it's psychrometry, which is another tool, another gift, is you hold them, and sometimes I'll give them moonstones, and you get some amazing insights from them. And it's just one symbol on it. It's like some amazing stuff. And so it's always the first thoughts. We've got this kind of thing that blocks us sometimes from, how do you say, exploring the brain or just allowing these thoughts to come through, John.
Yeah, well, I know. I remember that in some of your intuitive classes that you've done, one of the exercises you did was involving looking at whether it's a tarot card, for example, and then whatever is the very first thought comes into your mind is to say that. Whatever comes into your mind is to say that. Basically, a teaching clear cognizance is what you're doing, really. So you're directly downloading messages and are removing the filter mechanism that you would normally have, so that your ego doesn't interfere, and so that you're creating a clear channel for information to come through. And it's a great exercise. It's a great way to practice.
Yeah, I think it's whether you want to do the card professionally or whatever. I mean, you don't have to. I think anyone that's going into this field has to learn a little bit about counselling and empathy before they kind of go into the professional side of this. And I didn't go into that, as you know, until I was highly trained in life coaching and counselling and through my union days and whatnot, before I even started doing readings, because and I was also a healer, a Reiki healer at the time. And I think you have to have that. And part of an organisation helps as well, where you learn to ground and protect yourself, because it's about you protecting yourself, because you get so many desperate people who are vulnerable come to see you, and also having that list to signpost people to, because people you can take advantage of somebody who's vulnerable, and you can get them coming back and giving you money. It's not about that. It's about how we can help these people. Very often, I've given people who are really desperate free sessions, as long as they give me a recommendation or something. And when you do something spontaneous and free, and they know that they need it, we get it back in other ways, John. It's happened to you, it's happened to me. And that's why we do these shows, is we're out to educate, to teach, and yes, we'll have some fun and pool and have a bit of banter as well. And that involves you guys out there. And, we are wanting to make it more regular. I'm trying to stick to every Thursday night and some spontaneous tea breaks with a psychic as well. And I think it's important that we share sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it helps to get you out there as well, I suppose. You do reap what you sow, in a sense. For those who approach this with not the best interests, not the best interests of others at heart. They're going to reap what they sow. Most people in the spiritual community have got a kind of an ingrained understanding and belief of something along the lines of karma. And I believe in that, and I do believe that those few out there who don't have, client's best interests at heart, they just don't last. They they get found out. But the unfortunate thing is everybody else gets tarred with the same brush, is what I was saying earlier on.
Now, there's something I've not heard of. Well, let's see for astrological dice.
Astrological dice, yeah.
What are thoughts on the use them to embrace? I actually don't know. I've never even heard of that, to be honest. And I usually know most things. So
I have seen astrological dice getting used quite a lot in tarot readings that you can find on YouTube and what have you. So there are a lot of
I've seen them
readers.
with the
Yeah.
astrological
There's a
symbol.
lot of readers on YouTube doing pick a card readings and that type of thing, who use astrological dice as part of their readings. There are others who use little trinkets of other kinds, like little charms, and they'll pull little charms of different kinds and use that to enhance the reading. It's all extra little fun things to add on and make a reading a bit more interesting. But I think the people doing that are doing that very often on social media channels, where they're making it more interesting and fun for the viewer, because of course they're looking for hopefully an end result where they'll book a reading with them. So there is that side to it. But yeah, I mean it looks fun. I've seen a few of them, and I don't see anything wrong with it essentially if it adds something to the reading.
Oh, definitely. And I think it's fun. I think it's so much fun. I very often, if I'm quiet in an afternoon, I'll go on and pull some cards to cheer people up, and we've got that positive intent. And that's like we're on tonight. Yes, I was speaking about mediumship, heavy subject, but we thought, see if John's free, because apparently we get to come on. John's on tarot cards.
There I was sitting twiddling my thumbs with nothing to do in the middle of eating my supper.
That's it. Just on some of the things that are coming up. I'll just do some advertising here, so you mentioned that. I'm at the Gordon Arms Hotel tomorrow night, and Fockerbar's doing a big show. And I think there's about 70 odd folk booked already. So there could be a couple of tickets left if you want to come along. I'll be demonstrating my mediumship. There'll be angel cards and fortune cookies on the tables. And I'll also be demonstrating past life regression, which is totally amazing to watch. And I'm in the snug. Well, I've got a poster. That's better. It's snug because you can see the menu there. A more intimate night, John, and it's a lovely place just a few miles outside Elgin, and it's got lovely food. He caters for all the gluten-free and vegetarian and all that as well. And it's a psychic supper, great value, great food, and again I'll be demonstrating mediumship, clairvoyance, and clairvoyance is basically kind of reading news and the past life regression, angel card readings and stuff as well. So it's a great wee night, and it's more intimate, more time with the person as well. Fantastic food. I just love going there. It's such a lovely little place. And have we got anything else here? Aye. Well, Angela, just to remind, is she speaking about developing? Angela's doing a Reiki course on the 11th of August. She only needs 6. She's got 3 or 4 people already. So people who want to develop their Reiki skills, angelic Reiki, I highly recommend it. It's over a whole weekend and great value, and I'll be there helping as well. I mean, Angela's the boss on that. she's the master. So I just do assist her. But I love doing it, and I'm also a Reiki master as well. But Angela's more a Reiki master teacher than I am, and I just love it. And I follow my orders and do what I'm told. So
I suspect you have to do that anyway.
Yeah, and again, we've got a new venue for a tea party. The Moonstone Lounge. They sell cards, John. They get some lovely cards and stuff and crystals as well. You need to come when you're up visit. We'll need to take you down there. And we're doing the tea leaf readings and parties and great food. They've got amazing food. They cater again for the veggies and the gluten-free people or people with diet restrictions. And me and Angela will be there. And the tea parties are amazing. They're great fun. So highly recommend you get along to one of them. There's always too much food, by the way. So it's a and it's a great afternoon. You end up talking for hours at it. So it's really good. So that's what's coming up. But anywhere want information, go to the events page and on the link below. And John, we want to get you at some of these events soon.
Yeah.
Find your days off and stuff.
I don't know if my cat will let me.
Take the cat with you.
Take the cat with me.
Well, we'll get down in Aberdeen. I've been asked to Aberdeen, and I'm hopefully organising some stuff there, but busy enough up here. Let's get back to the chat. See if there's any questions here.
Where's Tommy? That's the question. Yes, yes. Are you surprised to see me? Are you?
Yeah, Tommy. I wouldn't say forgot, but he got kind of involved with something tonight, and he couldn't get out of it. So it was a bit of a mix-up with Tommy. It was my fault the last couple of times, but Tommy couldn't make it tonight, so I managed to get John to come on. But Tommy will be back, and Tommy loves coming on in the lives with me, and he loves talking about his mediumship. And I highly recommend, if you haven't had a session with Tommy, to have a session with Tommy. Or go to one of his shows. Tommy's a minister. He married us. He's an amazingly funny medium, and he uses humour in a really sarcastic, funny way, and he just loves using humour. And he's been through quite a lot. He's had a hip replacement and stuff, and he told me he's swimming and trying to lose weight just now. So Tommy will be back on, and if I am picking up on any mediumship that comes through the cards, I'll give people a kind of message or whatever. We'll see what happens tonight. How long we've been on for? About half an hour. Do you think we should pull a couple of cards for people, John, or do you think we should let them wait a little while longer?
Well, I don't know. It's I don't mind too much. I don't mind too much. We always end up doing that anyway, don't we?
What we want to do different tonight, instead of just pulling random cards, ask us a question and put card behind it.
Oh, look straight away. Yes, please.
But seeing you were expecting Tommy, we'll have a card. Yeah. So we can say cards. So we've got Marianne McLeod, and we'll do a quick. Since she was first. Yes, please, Marianne. Just so you know it's you. So if you miss it, you can play it back. And I will pull a couple of cards. I'm going to shuffle my wee tarot cards. See, we're talking about tarot cards here. This is my pub pack, and I'm going to look at that judgment. Who's been up? Why do I feel that somebody's upset you this week, Marianne? Because I feel like, or you need to speak your truth, or I'm frustrated, I'm holding on to something. Because the feeling I've got from that is frustrated. And you need to blow your own trumpet there. Let's pull another card to get some clarity on that. Yeah, the Queen of Wands, right? Follow your intuition, because I'm been drawn to the black cat. See how we work at cards? And somebody's overstepped their boundaries. Yeah, totally right there. Yeah, and I feel you've got to get in touch with yourself and be the Queen of Wands, be the master in this situation. Don't let other people's insecurities hold you back, right? And there's a Justice card here as well. So I'll kind of leave that kind of blank. I feel you've got a few issues going on, Marianne. So I don't know what it's about. Just off the cuff there, and give us some feedback and see if we can get something else for you. Chloe, John. Oh no, who was one before her? Was there? Marianne, Heather. Oh, it's Heather. Heather Lane would love a card.
Heather Lane.
Aye. And just go on, not 5 minute readings tonight.
Not 5 minutes. 5 minutes, not long. Okay, Heather. Now, a little higher up, Heather says would love a card, but further up, she's asked a question: will the family get back together?
Okay.
Will the family get back together? So, well, I don't know. What am I going to do? Okay, will the family get back together? Ace of Wands, something new. Some kind of powerful energy moving forward. Does it mean the energy? Does it mean the family's getting back together? I don't know. In my head, I'm hearing the word yes, but I want to throw a bit of caution there, because it could be that there is a new beginning moving forward. And it might happen very quickly. I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Discussions to happen yet.
There's something in between, that I mean, that's what that Ace of Wands suggests something, but what's coming to me is something extra. That something has to happen first. Something has to happen in between, now and the family getting back together. I'm sorry I'm not more sure about it, but it feels like it's very possible that there is going to be some kind of stride forward, that it will be very possible, to happen, but something has to happen first. I don't know what that is, but if you know what that is and you can help it along, then you can help the situation.
Yeah, and just Marianne give us some feedback there, and I do feel, just to sort of back up what Marianne was saying there, let your friends help you, right, and it'll be sorted, right.
Yeah.
So that's a quick answer to that, and I feel that's the same answer to the one before Heather there. So I think it's Heather, and then it's June, is it? June Hudson. I'm drawing a fairy card, John. I don't know what you drawn to. It's like,
A fairy card for June.
hi. I'm drawing
I
a
don't
fairy card.
know.
That's one. I've got the 9 of Autumn, it says here. Reward yourself for all your hard work.
Ooh.
That's why. Being happily and successful, self-employed, cherishing your time alone. June. That's an interesting card. But a lot of fruit around this card, right? And veggies, that's what I'm drawn to. It's a fruitful time for you. And again, it's like, as I said, spreading the wings, because I'm going to the wings of the butterfly. A lot of green there, and there's a star just above your third eye, so it's listening to your intuition. It's a white star, so it's a crown chakra, it's clear, right? So there's some, I don't know if you're into Reiki, but I do feel there's some healing being done in you. Or it's distant. So that's what I feel. What do you feel, John?
Well, I mean, this flew out.
Yeah,
The Five of Pentacles. I mean, I'm looking at the characters as opposed to the fact that the Pentacle is normally associated with finance. I'm looking at the characters, and and it feels like that kind of energy, feeling a little bit like we're struggling along a little bit, just kind of coping, just kind of managing, and I just feel like saying, it was the theme of the last day we had, was this kind of theme of keeping going. I also feel like bottom of the card for bottom of the deck for some reason, I just noticed, I glanced at, and it's this kind of card suggesting kind of juggling priorities, kind of, keeping things and trying to keep things in balance. So there could be some financial stuff going on there, but I feel like it's more about emotions, even though it wasn't a cup card.
Yeah, I do feel it myself. What was June? Chloe there. So Chloe, will you start first this time, John? I'll give my card to shuffle. Here you shuffling.
Yeah, I'm shuffling. I'm constantly shuffling. I'm just sitting here permanently shuffling them. I would love a card, please. Okay, Chloe, we'll have a card for you. Oh, what are we doing? I'm cutting them here. And what have we got? Well, I've got a King of Pentacles. You've got support around you, haven't you? You've got financial support, perhaps. I'm not quite sure what I'm going with this. King of Pentacles.
Funny you're saying that, John, because my first was
yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm hesitant just because normally I'm hesitant to talk about finances. I just feel it's saying that there is financial support. So it could be that if you have some issues or trials financially, that there is an answer around the corner, and it could be some advice. Not necessarily from someone like a bank manager or someone like that, but it could be just advice from someone who is actually reasonably sound with money and finances in their head, that's quite astute in that way. And it could well be that you'll find solutions for something that's been going on that you might not have expected, and it could come as a form of advice from someone very helpful. Feel like saying.
That's good. Yeah. I just Georgina, Miriam Cloud says so true. Heather Lane, will the family get back together? Did we do Heather Lane earlier on? Was that? No, it's a different family situation. Will the family get back together? I do feel they will. And I'm going to use a bit of intuition here because I'm seeing a celebration. Right. So I do see a celebration. I feel it's coming up pretty soon. In fact, the number 3 is standing out. So 3 weeks, 3 days, 3 months. There's something that's needing to happen beforehand. I feel it's a clearing of the air. I also feel a big celebration party, something to celebrate Heather. There's a lot going on around you though, so maybe worth getting a wee reading from one of us. And there's a lot of family ones tonight, Sean.
Yeah.
I'm am I steering my family in the right track, or should I rethink the path you were on? Now, the question kind of answers your question,
Yes.
because
Yes.
your thoughts are going, should I rethink the path we're on? So a lot of people,
Mm.
this is why I like people to ask questions, because you can answer your own question.
Any
I
question?
think
Yes.
you should rethink. I think there has to be a rethinking or adjusting to make it better. And it's like, say the words, how can it get better than this? Let's see what card John pulls for you.
If you feel the need to build into the question the words, should I rethink the path? Yes, then you should. You know, just the fact that you intuitively know yourself that you should rethink it means that you should. The card we've got is this one. You know, I mean, I feel like saying you're trying to convince them, and are kind of pushing against you to some degree. Um, uh, you know, a few of them perhaps even. It feels like you're trying to convince someone of something, you know, and you've been on a particular track and you feel that, oh yes, I'm on the right track, but you're getting pushback and now you've got doubts. Now you've got doubts. Is this really the right way? I feel that you should rethink. That doesn't mean that you should change your mind, but part of rethinking is about listening to those around you. And so those who have been pushing back, I feel like saying you should listen to them. It doesn't mean you should change your course. It just means that helping people to feel that they are part of the conversation will help the whole situation a great deal.
Definitely feel it, and trust your intuition. So your question kind of answers it in a sense, but I'm also drawn to the little kind of moon in the background there. It's not fully there yet, so it's kind of saying, you know, I keep saying the dark side of the moon. There's some darkness, and the moon's just popping out a little bit, right? So it's going to get better. But it's maybe a slight change of direction. Lorraine Flockhart. Is it Flockhart? How do you pronounce that? Flockhart. Lorraine Flockhart. I would love a card, please. No, what are you drawn to? I'm drawn to Oracle card.
But
Really?
I've been sticking with my Rider Waite so far. You know, I've got 3 decks here, and I haven't even thought of looking at them so far. Really,
It's tarot at night, but I'm just drawn to it's the more like Oracle cards these days. They're fairy tarot cards.
Hmm.
But I've got the 3 of Spring. Plan your next steps with one eye on the long term. Have patience, there's more good things to come. Satisfaction from a job well done. And there's lots of lovely colour, lots of purple around that. And it's coming into the kind of your spring, and it's your changing. I've seen all the flowers coming out here, and you're going to blossom. And I feel like it's to do with work. I feel this is a work card or a work questions that you've got in your mind, because I'm getting drawn to your work. So I'd like to know what you're doing if it involves art or whatever, but I feel being more creative. That's the kind of what the card tries to say to me there. John, know you're getting your Rider Waite back.
Well, actually, just because you said that, I had the inkling to change, so I'm now on the Archangel Power Tarot cards.
There we go.
We've got the 8 of Ariel.
Yeah.
So what we've got, yes, we've got the 8 of Ariel. Can you see this chap reading the book here? You know, he's studying, he's concentrating on what he's doing, he's busy on something, you know, so your instinct about work could be spot on. Take great pride in your excellent work, is what this says. You know, practice makes perfect. Consider getting additional education or training. This card was the one that was lying under the chair, you know, earlier on that I just held up to the camera, and it suddenly appeared again, which is very interesting. That's like a double confirmation that this card is for you right now. I feel like saying you might not be approaching it, the situation, the question with the confidence that you could. You are better than you think you are.
Yeah, I feel that. And we're getting thank yous there, John. And Georgina's got some messages there for the female family member who's pushing their luck with her, overstepped her boundaries, and something would cheese them off. It's not the word she's using. Good. It's good that you're tuning in too and helping people. It is all about the kind of energy of us all helping each other, and that's what it's about. It's going down. Again, thanks. June says thanks. Chloe Rachel. We've done Chloe Rachel would love a card. I'm back to the tarot card now.
Derek, you're getting some interference with your microphone.
Oh, it's because I thumped. Is it back now?
No,
What's happening now?
you're just getting interference with the microphone. It's coming through my speaker.
Is anyone else feeling that? Because I'm not getting that.
Maybe the universe is telling me something.
Is that better, John?
No. You sound like a bit of a Dalek, somebody says, so it's not only me. At least I don't feel alone now. Looks like Derek could be resetting. There he is again.
No, we're still here.
Yeah, you're still here, but so is the Dalek.
It sounds like, is anyone else getting interference from me? Anyone else? It'll be a bit of a delay. That sounds cool. Hello.
Yeah. Sorry, Derek, you're a Dalek.
I'll maybe change the settings. Hang on. I might have to log on and come back out.
There we go. So hopefully Derek will sort out his sound as rather amusing interruption to an otherwise very interesting show so far. I hope you guys are all enjoying yourselves and that everything is going well for you. Otherwise, enjoy the weekend that's coming up as well. So I'm going to just, Derek's sorting himself out. Chloe's looking for a card. So I'll just start and draw a card for Chloe while we're waiting for Derek to sort out. And I have got... So we've got Divine Guidance for Chloe. We've got Divine Guidance. What does this card say, Chloe? It says, the search for meaning in life. Consider an alternative approach. Surround yourself with wise teachers or friends. Divine guidance. I'm wondering if that's is that something that you feel that you need? Is there something underlying there that draws you towards that this kind of idea? I need some kind of answer to a question. Because although this card is saying the search for the meaning of life, I have to remind you that search comes from within yourself. This isn't something that that you necessarily get an answer to from outside. For example, I can't give it. Derek can't give it. You find it from within yourself. You have to find that meaning from within you. So consider an alternative approach. I feel like saying just as well, if there is something around you, a slightly different question, that again, like the last reading, a little bit similarly, if there's a particular situation in your life and you're not quite sure whether you can go in the right direction, just consider different approaches before you make up your mind what way to go. So I just did a card there quickly for Claude Derrickson to see whether or not give you a chance to get that sorted out.
Is you back now?
Yeah, that you sound a lot better now. The Dalek does seem to have gone.
Yeah, I was on the wrong mic. It was on a different mic. It was one of the cameras in the iPad, not the.
Yeah. I thought it could have been something like that.
So I took a little find what was going on there. So good feedback. You're still switching back and forth. The path isn't for you yet. Good advice from Killshot Queen, Georgina. Shona Taylor. We've got Lillian Falkirk says thanks. Purple is the chakra relating to the enlightenment. That's true. Purple is the third eye. You sound a bit like a Dalek. Hi. Hopefully. Lindsay Forbes, hello. I haven't heard from you for a long time. What have you missed? We're talking about tarot cards tonight. We're supposed to have Tommy, the medium, on, but he couldn't make it tonight. So we're talking about tarot cards. And we could say the benefits, the negative side, the positive side, and whatnot. And we're asking people if they want a wee card to ask a question with it. So it makes it more fun for us. So if we missed anyone, there's a Shona. I think it was Shona was wanting a card. Let's go down a little bit. There has been a shift in the energy lately, a lot of headaches in the last while. Yeah, June, there has, and a lot of my Reiki people have been saying that as well. There has been a shift in the energy, and they say there's some solar winds coming affecting Mother Earth as well. And we've certainly had some strange weather over the last few years, haven't we, John?
Yeah, weather engineering can do wonderful things, can't it?
Yeah. I think there was one I'm missing. just think, go back. Shona, find her. Shona was looking for a card. Shona, right, Shona Taylor, it's your turn if you're still there. For a card, so that people can hear me all right. John was fading away there. It's like,
Am I fading away now? Am I?
yeah, everything right. I've got this
I hope
now.
not.
I've got the Page of Wands, young people looking up to you in a spiritual sense, a very sensitive young person. Or it could mean you get in touch with your inner child again. I'm drawn to the White Hat for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. It's like, but I'm drawn to the White Hat. So maybe it's saying wear a hat in the sun or something, but there's not much sun today. Or keeping things under your hat. Some ideas you've got. Do you want to just now keep it under your hat for just now? What's your views on that, John? Been drawn to the
That's
hat.
interesting, isn't it? Well, I've got this card.
Yeah.
For some reason, I grabbed the soul coaching cards. As soon as you put up Shona, for some reason, I just felt like these cards, right? Love. Okay. I am wonderful. I receive and give love today and always. That's a really beautiful spiritual message. I feel like saying love in a spiritual sense and an unconditional sense.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like saying this is something that you want to fill yourself with right now. Be good to yourself. Find ways to do that. Treat yourself. Just do that. That's all I've got to say for you, Shona. Literally, just be nice to yourself. You deserve it.
Maybe keep it under your hat is be secretive and just treat yourself.
Yeah. You don't have to tell anyone you're doing it. That's what that means.
You're not getting freedom. Yeah, you need to give some feedback.
Yeah.
There's Libs. Elizabeth, nice card for Libs. Do you remember Libby, John?
Libby.
She's one of my friends from the past.
Okay.
I grew up with, well, you could say grew up with Libby. Do you remember her? When she was in Aberdeen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And let's see if we can connect for you, Libby. Look at that. Security. All the family together. Rejoicing. I've got some good news coming up for you. And it's really good that's I just feel a lot of strength around that. It's like strength within the family. And I also feel that there's good news coming, more good news. There's something about maybe doing the house up or shifting. Libby, I know you've been in your house a long time. I'm not sure if it's you or somebody's moving house. Maybe it's one of your daughters. But there's a lot of, how do you say, destruction when you move house. I was speaking about a tower card in TikTok the other day, and it's like every house move is challenging. Or if you've gotten a place out, just need to gut it out and do it up. It's always a challenge because you're holding on to the emotions of things. And I feel you're needing a clear out, Libs. So I don't know what that's about, or if one of the kids is maybe moving or doing something, but there's something going on regarding your house. I don't know if John's picking up anything for you, Libby.
The house, the Empress. Be in charge. Be in charge. If it has to do with a house move or something, some kind of major thing which has a similar amount of, upset around you, if that makes sense. House moves are very tiling, but
It's just doing the garden up.
Yeah. There are other things that can be similar to tiling. So, just be in charge. There's a lot of creative energy in the Empress as well. Massive amounts of creative energy in the Empress. It can even rely, could even suggest a birth around you. I don't mean you. It could even suggest a birth around you. For some reason, I'm saying that. I don't know. Anyway, it says time to act upon your plans. So that kind of marries quite well with what Derek was saying here. I just feel like saying, be in charge of the path that you're choosing for yourself and for your family, and be the matriarch is what I feel like saying. And I know you perform that role very well. So just keep going.
It's a family get together. There's a few celebrations around that as well. Maybe there's a bit of a surprise there coming for you, Libby. So anyway, good luck.
Good idea to be organised around that then before it happens. Have a really amazing time.
We've got Leanne there. She's wanting a wee card. And I feel things are going to be pretty good for you, Leanne. I'm feeling good news coming for you too. Thanks, Libs. It's a spreading the wings card again for you, Leanne. Don't know what John's getting, but it's definitely spreading the wings. It's actually applying for things. I feel you need to apply for jobs or positions or apply to things. And I really feel it's like now. You have to do it now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Queen of Gabriel.
Queen of Gabriel, it's just, you said just now, you have to do it now. Just when I was reading this card, you can do anything right now. Literally the first line on the description of this card at the bottom, that's what it says.
Yeah.
You can do anything right now. So now is the time. So yeah, spread your wings.
And I've got look at this. Ego. It says ego. 15, the illusion of being trapped, placing too much importance on material items, getting caught up in fear and worry. So that's why it's saying to act now. Don't let your ego stop you. Right? Just go with it. There's something coming that's positive, really good. And both love and work. Yeah. So that's really good. James Parry. That's a James Parry. That's a guy. It's not a name I know, so it's maybe somebody new on the channel, John.
James Parry. Well,
Parry, let's do a double whammy. We'll do a double whammy for James. My first thought, James, is that you are connecting. You are connecting to your higher self. You're just not understanding some of it. You've got a good intuition. And I do feel you're a good person, that you've been through challenging times, but you're a giver, and sometimes we give too much. So it's giving something back to yourself and not being ashamed of it. I have a good feeling about, I've got October in my head, so I don't know what's happening in October. I feel something really exciting's happening then. So October stands out around about the 10th or 11th. That came from nowhere, John. I don't know where that came from.
Absolutely nowhere. I've got solutions.
There you go.
Which is interesting, just very, 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 very interesting. Again, the cards I'm getting seem to be following on quite well from the card from the readings you're giving. So we've got success that comes from objective compromise, self-control, and patience, forgiving and healing energy. So this kind of confirms what you were saying, Derek. Solutions, whatever's going on and going around you, James, that's been challenging you. I feel like saying that a solution is at hand, quite literally. But you've got to find it within. I keep saying this, that those intuitive insights that Derek's mentioning that you have, I get that feeling about you as well. All you have to do is actually know that you have that and believe that you have that and start trusting it. And that's when you'll actually begin to trigger those intuitive nudges that will help you on your way. It's when you start knowing that they're there.
And you've actually got a third kind of mentioning, because there's on Twitch is saying this here. I don't know if you won't be able to see this, but she's saying, for James, I'm feeling some sadness with him or someone around him, someone who's not properly grieved or lost. Won't admit they are struggling a little. They need a little extra support and love. So that's why I feel you're a giver as well. So you are supporting people, James. And it's interesting that, everyone here is helping each other. That's part of we do these things. It's just giving. It's no financial gain for us other than we're getting known. It's all sharing and giving.
Look, Derek, all I did was put the cards down to pick up another deck, and this came flying out.
What is it? The Four
of Michael.
Actually,
and it says, insights that come from quiet meditation, the need for more sleep or time off, seek relief from stress. So that's kind of confirming what, that's kind of confirming what you've been saying the last minute or so there. And from the reading there for James, I'm feeling some sadness, and what have you. And so what we're really suggesting here, it's a great idea to take some time out, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Bit of healing, bit of pampering.
Yeah. Pamper yourself, James, for sure.
And now we've got a Lindsay. We both know Lindsay. It's like she's looking for a card. I'm looking for, where's my lovers cards? It's like she doesn't like me getting lovers cards, but I'm drawn to a lovers card for Lindsay tonight. Whether you like it or not. maybe there's something going on she hasn't told us about, but I'm getting love. I've got the cupids in my head, and I feel it in my tummy, excited. So I don't know if somebody's got you going, Lindsay, or whatever, or if you're going somewhere and there's invited out. Here we go. letting go of control issues. Allow the situation to unfold naturally. What's going on? Because when you know people and they become your friends, it gets harder to read them sometimes. But there's something going on, Lindsay. There's eyes on you because I'm feeling it. John?
Eyes on Lindsay. Yeah, eyes on Lindsay. Well, I've got the I've got the 9 of Wands, so I'm wondering whether Lindsay actually believes that there's eyes on Lindsay. I wonder whether Lindsay is actually confident, about the move forward. Who feels that kind of energy of, oh, back to that again? Is it going to work out this time, or is it going to be the same as it was the next time, the last time, or the time before that? Sometimes we just have to hold the faith, Lindsay. Sometimes that's all we have to do is just hold the faith. One of these times, it's going to be the right guy that comes around.
Attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. I'm really intrigued now. You need to organise another tea party, Lindsay, so we can come and see what's going on. James Parry says, thanks, lads. Not even a sniffer. Well, something's coming. So that's telling you I have to open.
Not even a sniffer. Well, I mean, the thing is, though, these kind of things always surprise you when you least expect it. It's when you're not looking for it, it appears it's round the corner.
Yeah. Try to make yourself available, though. So get out there, do things, do something different this week, Lindsay. Or a different walk, different path, different club, different restaurant.
Visit the art gallery, I feel like saying. Is there an art gallery near you?
She's out in the sticks. She's a little bit out in the sticks, but yeah, there's plenty of art galleries in Aberdeenshire. Yeah.
And different, museums and places like that, cultural places that have got interesting stuff to view and interesting people to talk to.
She won't be able to see this, but I'll put it on the screen here because it's in Twitch. I never thought I could have done that, Georgina. Does Lindsay have a birthday coming up in the family very soon? Immediately thought a lot of celebration in there. Yeah, and she says she saw balloons as well. So, yeah, there's another very intuitive person there. Kill Shot Queen, but she's got many other names.
I've got many names as well. People call me all sorts of things.
Do I have a chip?
Do I have to tip him up? Do I have to tip him up? Yeah. Oh, no.
Well, you never know. Yeah, we'll come up to one of our events, and we've got a nice psychic supper on next Friday night, nice and quiet. Looking forward to doing that. But we've got a big show tomorrow night in Fockerbirds. Got my auntie's diamond wedding anniversary tomorrow night. There you go. So, you better get dressed up. Get your glad rags on. Get out there.
Maybe you'll be the one catching the bouquet.
Where's the book of answers? Let's find the book of answers.
Well, it's a wedding anniversary, not the actual wedding. But
is Lindsay going to meet somebody tomorrow night, John?
The book of answers. That's a scary book.
Oh, look at this! Investigate, then enjoy it.
That's a scary book. That book of answers.
We need to get a wee text. Investigate and enjoy it.
Yeah, why not? Yes.
It's usually when you're not looking for it and you don't expect it when it happens. Like from me and Asla, mate, it's just unbelievable. Look at all the press coverage we got as well now, magazines and papers about how we met, the past life stuff. Yeah, so maybe we've got a past life connection coming up, Lindsay. Never know. So is that caught up with all the cards because they're very quiet, or somebody?
Well, nobody's saying, "Where's my card?"
No, I haven't had one. I don't think I've missed anyone. That's good. So, getting back to tarot cards, John.
Back on the original subject. Not that we left it.
Yeah. What is your favourite major card?
My favourite major card?
Yeah.
The Major Arcana card. The Fool. The very first one. I mean, the Major Arcana tarot deck is centred around the idea of the Fool's journey. And so each subsequent card in the Major Arcana in its correct order represents the next stage in the Fool's journey until he finally arrives at the world and the completion, at which point he begins a new journey again. And so I love the concept of this fool's journey in the major arcana, and it helps me with readings enormously. It can also help in your understanding of the cards when you look at it from that perspective. I think the Fool is an amazing card. Also, the amount of times I've jumped into new situations in life, just like a fool. Yeah, and sometimes it goes well and sometimes it doesn't, but for some reason it doesn't stop me from doing it. But that's how we learn. I just love the Fool card. What about you, Derek?
Well, that's one of my favourite cards as well. So it's kind of probably why we're still good mates. But one card that I've been drawn to, apart from the Lovers card, which is always one of my favourite cards to get, is the Hermit card. And I've been drawn to that lately, and it's quite a favourite card of mine because it's always the person who's deep when they're shining the light. And I think that's that shining a light in difficult areas. And sometimes the Hermit is classed as a negative card. I always think it's a positive card because you go inside. You're being the Hermit. You're going inside. You're shining the light. And I'll highlight this, said Georgina. And mine is the Devil in Capricorn, my star sign. Now, the Devil is not always a bad card because if you spell the Devil backwards, it's lived, Georgina. So I can understand you've been drawn to the Devil, and it's usually number 15. And the weird thing is, me and John and my pal Steve are both soul number 5s.
Yeah, and I'm also a Capricorn, by the way.
Yeah, when the 3 of us get together, it adds to 15, which then becomes 6 in numerology, and that's the Lovers. And the 3 of us get together, 3 best mates, we get steaming and we have a laugh. Or we have a happy time even though we're not drinking. 3 different personalities, 3 different, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
That's
well, it's Three Stooges. I don't know why they called us the Three Musketeers. It would have been more accurately called the Three Stooges.
And we've all got the soul number 5, and we didn't know this until it was actually by accident we found that out when we were playing with numerology one time, and it's good. Well, what's Georgina saying here? I'll show it because not everybody's on Twitch to see this. If you're drawn to the Hermit card, that to me says you went a long time feeling like you were in the dark or feeling alone, and you finally found the light, and that spark you needed to enter your life. And that's true, because a lot of my journeys when I was a union official, when I was, you remember I've been doing this a long, long time now, John, well before yourself, and how lonely and isolated I felt. And it goes back to teenage days. Some people, is my union stuff as well, but also my spiritual side, which I hid. And I did feel lonely at times, no one to speak to. Now there's loads of people opening up and talking to and getting invited to meetings and whatnot and getting togethers, but it can be a lonely path when you open up or go down a spiritual path. So
I mean, the other thing about the Hermit card as well was the Hermit represents the idea of taking small steps over time and taking careful steps over time. Very often he's depicted walking up kind of a rocky hill or something like that, and he's an older kind of chap and he's got his stick and what have you, and he's taking deliberate, careful steps to get where he's wanting to go. And so it's really a path, a journey that takes time, so there's a lot in that, I think, in terms of how you like that card.
Mm-hmm. And if you were to think of somebody famous, right, likes of I don't know, Robbie Williams or Lewis Capaldi just now, because he's going through a bit of a challenging time. What card would come to your mind thinking about Lewis Capaldi?
Lewis Capaldi,
yeah, the singer. You know him, John, eh?
Lewis, no, I know you said Capaldi. I just thought of the dude that was in Doctor Who.
Oh, I see. Yeah, the Ace of Swords, new mental start and beginning. Yeah, I get that. I'll highlight that because she's on Twitch and not everybody sees the comments on Twitch. Yeah, I would probably agree with that. As the card that comes to mind, the Ace of Swords or the Ace of Wands, a new spiritual start. Because I think his spiritual side is trying to tell him something as well.
Peter
Capaldi, that's Lewis Capaldi's uncle. That's interesting.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, well, there we go.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And if we just pull a card randomly for him, because he's been in the news a lot, planning, taking time out, planning for the future, better planning. I often feel that these people don't have enough support, and there's too much money.
Yeah. Well, I was about to say, I feel that when I saw that card, I felt like people might start looking up to him a bit more.
I think they have. I
over
think
time,
he
Yeah.
didn't hide it. He didn't run away from it. He just couldn't sing, and the crowd took over. And anyone that's worked with, as I do in my field as a complementary therapist, work with people with Tourette's, it's when you get an attack of kind of that nervous movements, there's nothing they can do. They just got to go through it. It's almost like taking a seizure, but you're wide awake. And there's nothing you can do about it. And I really felt for him. But I mean, he's a talented artist, talented singer. I just feel deep down he's not getting the right support. But I do. He's got the right parents though, and they will look after him. You know what it's like? You get all these managers, money people around him, and they want more money out of him than him. And he has stayed very grounded. Lovable goof before his fame. Yeah. I think some of the when anyone watched that Netflix video about him, it's quite sad actually watching it. And he said that himself. He wants to make a more positive movie, but that's that. Now, another thing about the tarot cards I like is you can play a lot of games with them as you can with the playing cards, and you can make up games. You don't have to do certain spreads. They're fun things to play with tarot cards. But if you've got a pack of playing cards and you get to learn about the tarot cards, you can read playing cards.
This is true, actually. The 52 cards and the playing cards are derived from the minor arcana in the tarot deck. So you can read them as, in terms of similar meanings and prompts as you would if you know the meanings, if you know the basic meanings of the minor arcana in the tarot deck.
Yeah.
Fun fact about tarot, though, they didn't originate, when they first came out, they weren't used for readings at all. I mean, they date back to something like the 15th century when, those noble people who had money sometimes commissioned artists, especially, to paint images of their family members in typical poses and collect them as cards, and and so this is at least part of where, I mean, it's not really known historically when they really originated, but part of what I read about it is that it originates with these people who used to actually paint pictures of their family members, and that's a really personal thing to do, isn't it? And it was only over the course of hundreds of years that they ended up being used as a means of fortune telling or doing psychic readings. But before that, they were, before they became used for psychic readings, they were used as games. They were used for playing games. So there were games cards before there were psychic cards. And before there were games cards, there were basically personal images of people's family that they had literally, hired an artist to paint for them.
Yeah. There's amazing stories about tarot cards and the art. There's actually in Glasgow, I don't know if people live in there, there was a tarot card museum. I don't know if it's still there. And it was just you walk in and it had hundreds of packs of cards and pictures on the wall and stuff. It was totally amazing. Let's see, Laura McBean, she's been on before. She thinks she's been cheeky, but she's not.
She thinks she's been cheeky? Oh, I don't know. I don't think so.
But she can have a card because there was nobody asking for cards here earlier on. Georgina, you haven't had a card. When we should pull one for Georgina after this? That's Killshot Queen. It's like...
well, I know she's been...
Georgina's got some names.
Georgina's been helping us, Derek. You should be sending her a link so she can come on with us.
Aye. I think we've tried before and she wouldn't come on, but you need to... Well, if I have a private message, you can come on and do that. The victory card here, Laura. The beauty card, victory. I'm on that horse. I'm moving forward. Finally, I feel you've had a bit of a challenging time though, and you've rose above it. And I feel I'm freer. I've also got a lovely taste of wines. I don't have drinking in there. Wine, and it's like, is there funny Frank cards there? Lindsay's saying, well, I'll pull one for Laura as well. This is the sweary cards. Affirmation cards. Let's just pull one for Laura to cheer her up. Well, there's two came up. Look at that. And this is just like the victory card. Yes, I am. Yes, I can. Look. And look at this. I am more than worthy. I am an effing warrior woman. So I do feel you've had the victory, Laura. So I don't know what John's saying to that.
Yeah, well, this card is known as the wish card. The Nine of Cups. So perhaps you could be a little bit more optimistic than the way that you've been feeling over the last little while. I just feel like saying, for some reason, I feel like saying the worst is over. Derek's mention of home, I felt like saying you're on your way home. There was some, but I don't mean a literal home. I mean you're on your way home from something, from something that hasn't been, that's been perhaps a little bit challenging for you. But something that you've been hoping for, some kind of solution, I feel like saying is there for you. You may have to do something towards it, but there is something there for you. There is a solution there. But don't sit on your laurels like this chap's doing. Take action in your own favor and in favor of the outcome that you want.
I'll put this up, but I won't maybe read it out. This is Sarah because she's on Twitch, Laura, but you can see that for yourself. It's like if someone shoots, her reply is "effing watch me."
Well, good. There's nothing wrong with that attitude.
So we've had people on watching from Facebook, Twitch, and Twitch is kind of platform we should do more on, some chat shows and stuff. And we've also got YouTube. We've been streaming to YouTube, so people on my YouTube channel get notifications of that as well. And I've got a lot of good news coming up regarding my branding. I'm totally changing my brand, and because we're talking about tarot cards tonight, I can share that I'm creating a course, and we're also doing some education on the tarot cards as well. Because I've noticed that when people in the Google Analytics on my website, the most thing people ask for, 80% or 70 to 80%, is tarot cards. So I'm going to focus on tarot cards for a few weeks. Apart from all the other hundreds of things that I do, from mediumship, the healing, the Reiki, and all the stuff that I do, John, tarot cards is the most popular thing people ask me to do. So hence why we chose tarot cards tonight.
Nice. Did you do that reading for Georgina?
No, but I think we should, to finish off, to say thanks.
Yeah, because I think before you finish off, because you sound as if you're winding down, but poor Georgina hasn't had a card from you yet.
Right, I've got so many cards here I'm drawing there for Georgina. It's like a triple one. Right, I've got a love one here. I've cut them in half. So I'll give her a love one. Passion, reignite your passion. And we know what that's about, because you need passion to happen for other things to happen. Right. So, and you're speaking to Angela about that as well. Right. And I'm going to cut the tarot cards. One card. Oh, look at that. Taking control, standing up for yourself. I think it's kind of going back to the youthfulness as well, because Page is young. Now, often the Page of Swords is portrayed as somebody who's a little bit out of control sometimes, but I'm feeling I'm in control with this card. I'm not feeling that at all. I'm feeling really, really strong there. It's maybe being that childlike and a lot of strength around you too. And you're being mothered. So you need a bit of pampering. And here we go. Two of Winter. Oh, look at this. Indecision is holding you back. Make the choice that's best for you rather than trying to please others. Feeling trapped between intellectual and emotional. That kind of sparks a lot of the work that's going on. Maybe that's the inner child I'm feeling that's a bit confused. But you know what? I'm drawn to the musical instrument there as well. So it's like playing your own tune. Keep doing what you're doing. John, I'm passing it to you. It's like I'm passing the buck.
I know. Well, it's just kind of weird because I've literally just drawn this card and then got it again.
Hi.
It's kind of weird. So perhaps Georgina's going to get something that she's been hoping for as well. But I didn't stop there. Look out behind. Who's trying to nibble at your ankles, Georgina? Pay attention to what's going on around you, not just where you're headed. Just remember those intuitive faculties are there for you as well, not just to help others. And look out around. And one more. Remember what you were talking about the devil earlier? You like that? Did you say you like that card? Well, it
It's
came
our
up for
favourite
you.
card. One of our favourite
It
cards.
came up for you, so there's a bit of confirmation. You know, I don't know. I mean, that card literally means lived, according to Derek, and yes, it is. If you turn a devil name roundabout, perhaps you probably have, but just keep living is what I say. I feel like saying, just keep living.
Positive vibes only.
Yeah.
Like F negativity.
Yeah. Just keep living. Just keep going. Just keep enjoying. Just keep doing your thing. But you know, pay attention to what's going around you as well.
Well,
Yeah, the devil of the card you like.
Because people can't see on Facebook your reply, Georgina. Indecision related to speaking to Angela and the doctors, and being pulled in two different directions, which the doctors became aware I was seeking holistic help. It wasn't greeted with positivity from them. True, and Angela had a lot of problems with doctors and all that, but reflexology and all that sort of stuff that Angela does has been used for more in the last 20, 30 years in helping people, making your wish come true. And not only that, she's an expert in other things as well. So, but the work, she can write letters as well to doctors. But there's an awful lot of people that are just giving pills, John, aren't they? Just giving, okay, we'll just give you a pill. That'll do.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to get away from that, you know?
Yeah, we do need to get away from that and not rely on it so much. I mean, we have to remember, unfortunately, that the doctor's narrative, doctors and nurses and people in the medical profession have been taken through several years of university and basically conditioned into a particular mindset that suggests that, you know, their way is the only way. But it just isn't true. And so it's important that we kind of stand up for ourselves a little bit here, and not let ourselves get bullied by a society that can only see one way forward. Because there are different answers to a question, and there are different ways forward, and they all have to realize it.
Yeah, and just as we're getting near our time up, just like to say thanks to everyone for tuning in tonight, and
yes, thank you.
Interesting questions and
yeah,
a few charity cards and stuff like that. And just remind people, go to the events page to see what's on for myself and Angela. And John maybe be joined at some of these events in the future if his cat allows him.
That lets me, yes.
And again, Georgina, thanks for chipping in with your comments and your interventions and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that was great help actually. That was really interesting what Georgina was saying there in a lot of those readings.
Yeah, and maybe we'll get her on live when she gets enough courage to come on. Yeah.
Hey, if I can do it, you can do it for sure. You should have seen me a few years ago. I would have never dreamt of doing this.
Yeah. And again, we'll get somebody on next week. Or I'll be on myself. Maybe Angela will come on next week. And look out for the tea break with a psychic through the week as well. Spontaneous and coming on. And look out for my new branding. And I'll be on YouTube, some of the stuff this time. YouTube only. So sign up to my YouTube channel if you can, because I've got some really exciting stuff coming out. I've got a mega graphic designer helping me, and we're working on some great videos, and it is going to be like tarot cards. Yeah, thanks, Georgina.
Thank you, Georgina. Yeah, we will. You too.
Just so people can't see you there, this is what she's saying there. And again, thanks everybody who's tuned in, and cheerio, guys.
Bye-bye. See you next time.